There are two types of people. The first type have a crippling cell phone addiction. They go to bed at 2 a.m. and wake up at a random time feeling tired. They promise themselves that they are going to be productive today, but they end up breaking this promise time and time again. Over time, they begin to feel unhappy with the lifestyle they are living. Even though it gets them quick temporary pleasure, they deep down know that they are not living up to their full potential. On the other hand, there's this second type of person. They are up and working even before the sun. Their day is carefully planned and every hour of it is dedicated towards becoming a better man. Their friends and family love them because they are the kind of men who keep their promises, especially to themselves. My name is Jibreal Khan and I help men go from this type 1 to type 2 through tried and tested principles of discipline. In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 ways that are going to help you make this transformation. I'm going to be honest with you, these protocols are not quick fixes to your life. These principles are actually going to require you to make some serious mindset and lifestyle changes. But if you follow them for long enough, you are going to become unrecognizable. So let's get right into them. You know, back when I used to be the first type of person, the most damage that I would do to myself would be later on in the day at night. Because there are some hormonal changes that go on in your body that make you feel a lot more relaxed and seeking comfort at night. Also, the fact that you're operating at 1 or 2 a.m., you kind of know that everyone around you is asleep. And no one is there to judge you if you jerk off to pixels on a screen or eat a tub of ice cream. And this had become sort of the pattern of my life. Do some productive things during the day and then mess up at night. I was only able to overcome this pattern once I understood that nothing good ever happens late at night. So what I did was I greatly shifted my operating hours. So instead of operating from, let's say, 10 a.m. to 1 a.m., I now started operating from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. I realized that when I was operating in this new window, I was just rising up early and going to bed at 9 p.m. I almost effortlessly avoided making bad decisions at night. Because each time I woke at 5 a.m., I felt so badass and felt so proud of myself that I was up before the sun and before 99% of the people on this planet. And this was sort of the catalyst that allowed me to do a lot of productive things in the morning. And because I had spent the early parts of my day being productive and working on myself, by the time it was 8 or 8:30 p.m., I was just too tired to make any bad decisions. All I wanted to do was just hit the bed. Also because I'd spent my mornings wisely. I was studying for multiple hours, working out, reading. Doing all these productive things made me feel rather good about myself. And when you feel this way at night, then you no longer wish to indulge in quick pleasures and undo all this progress. As amazing as it is to live this early bird lifestyle, you are going to face some challenges. The first and the most obvious one is that your social life is going to take a hit, or you're tempted to sleep later because you're busy socializing. Because let's be honest, almost every social event starts much later at night. For me personally, once I saw the results of this early bird lifestyle, seeing just how much more disciplined I was, just how much more progress I was making, and just how much more healthier I felt, I was willing to compromise the social aspect of things. And it's not that I completely stopped socializing, but I would now make sure that most of the social gatherings that I attended were earlier on in the day. And if I absolutely had to attend something that was at night, then I would make sure I would only do that once every 2 weeks. And these rules kind of helped me get the best out of both worlds. Discipline felt effortless and my social life wasn't bad either. But truth be told, I'm a bit of an introvert. I naturally require less amount of social interactions than the average individual. So if you're somewhat more of an extrovert, then feel free to adjust this ratio. Now, just because you manage to wake up at 5 a.m., that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be productive. In fact, more than likely, you are going to feel tired and have a lot of brain fog because your internal biological clock is still showing you the wrong time. You know how at certain points of the day you feel alert and ready to do things, whereas at certain other points you just feel tired and relaxed? This is dictated by your circadian rhythm. My circadian rhythm or internal clock was so messed up that I used to feel tired and lazy in the earlier half of the day when I was supposed to be working, and I would feel full of energy in the later half of the day when I was supposed to be sleeping. So unless and until you fix this biological clock, you are never truly going to feel disciplined. Because just imagine waking up feeling tired, lazy, having no motivation. You are not going to want to do productive things. But the good news is there are a few things you can do to fix your biological clock. Once you actually do fix it, you are going to wake up feeling full of motivation and ready to do productive things. And it will only take you 5 to 10 minutes to fall asleep at night. The first thing is light. Get plenty of sunlight during the earlier parts of the day, especially during the mornings. This is to signal to the body that, hey, the sun is out, release the right hormones, be alert and be productive. What I personally do is that I go for multiple walks throughout the day. Probably every 90 minutes, I go out for a short 5-minute walk. This way, I manage to get a solid 30 to 40 minutes of sunlight during the earlier parts of the day. The next thing I do is that I avoid bright lights during the later half of the day. Ideally, 90 minutes before you hit the bed, avoid all bright lights, because light has shown to prevent the excretion of the right sleep hormones. What I do is that I actually set up an alarm 90 minutes before my bedtime, and when this alarm hits, I start my sleep optimization protocol. And one of the things I do as part of that protocol is to dim all the lights in my room. Another key thing that dictates your circadian rhythm is food, and more importantly, not the kind of food that you eat, but rather the times at which you eat. In the past, I would snack all day long and I would eat at completely random times, but turns out that this really messes up your circadian rhythm. Now what I do is that I have food at specific times of the day. Even on the weekends, nothing changes. Also, I'm no longer snacking all the time. Your body actually likes periods of not eating food and digesting anything. It's during these periods where it performs a bunch of repair functions and adjusts the secretion of your hormones. So in addition to eating at regular times, I also do intermittent fasting. Optimized light intake, intermittent fasting, eating at fixed times, and eating whole food will optimize your circadian rhythm, and you're going to feel a drastic increase in your energy levels. And when you feel highly motivated and productive, guess what? Discipline begins to come naturally to you. You've adjusted your operating hours, you're waking up early, you've fixed your circadian rhythm, but there is just one problem. Have you ever felt that around mid-afternoon, you experience a massive dip in your energy levels? And you feel really tired and groggy to the point that you are not actually able to do anything productive. I call this the great dip. This kind of state is bad for your discipline because you're not able to think clearly or work. One thing that really helps fix this issue is a power nap that is around 10 to 20 minutes long. You know, when I first heard about power naps, I too was very skeptical. I always thought that what is this short duration of sleep actually going to do for me? But I felt amazed how I felt after just a 15-minute power nap. It's almost like I got a second burst of energy, like a whole new day had just started. My energy levels fell through the roof and I was now back to doing productive things. So I know that if you have never tried a power nap, you're still going to be a bit skeptical, but I also know that you will become a believer once you experience that magic yourself. So quick warning, so only have this power nap between 12 to 3 in the afternoon. I realized that when I have this power nap after 3 p.m, then I'm not able to fall asleep at night. Also make sure that you do not sleep longer than 20 minutes. Because after that, you go into deep sleep. And once you get into deep sleep, you're going to wake up feeling groggy and tired, even if you have slept for hours. I know this sounds a bit paradoxical, but I'm speaking from experience. Another thing that I noticed about this great afternoon dip is that it is strongly connected with the kind and the quantity of food that you eat. If you eat something super high in carbs like rice, pizza, or cake, that dip is going to feel super hard. And even a power nap might not help you recover from it. But what I've noticed is that when I do not have carbs, and I also greatly reduce the portion size of my meal, then I barely experience that dip at all. And the science behind this is when you put a large quantity of food in your gut, then blood rushes from your brain to your gut in an attempt to digest that food. This is why you end up having a brain fog and you feel lazy. Just a quick disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just a guy on the internet constantly doing experiments. Take what works for you and disregard what does not. So you've fixed your sleep schedule, your biological clock is on point, no more mid-afternoon crashes. You are a ball of energy and just ready to do productive things. But there is just one problem: distractions. One of the biggest killers of discipline that I know is your cell phone. In the 21st century, every single app wants your attention. You're getting bombarded with notification alerts from emails, Instagram, TikTok. Even the damn food delivery apps are now sending you notifications. And if you're a person whose life is constantly being fragmented by notifications, then guess what? This is killing your attention span and not letting you truly be absorbed in the thing that you're doing. What I personally do is that I put my phone either on flight mode when I'm not expecting a call, or I put it on silent mode for most of the time in my day. And this has been an absolute game changer for my psyche. I just feel a lot more happier on the days when I don't use my cell phone. And on the days when I find myself checking a lot of notifications, I almost get this dark anxiety-like sensation. Yeah, okay, perhaps this is a bit unnatural and I shouldn't be doing this. this. The second problem with cell phones is not just the notifications, but rather the fact that each of these apps are black holes. I have been a victim of doom scrolling, and at one point this was almost like muscle memory. Anytime I got bored, I would just click on Instagram and start doom scrolling. And when you watch such hyper stimulating short form content, not only does this kill your ability to focus, but it also makes you unhappy and anxious in the long run. Like, you must have experienced this sudden dip in happiness after you're done with doom scrolling for 30 minutes. My strategy to deal with this is to remove all apps from your cell phone. This personally works the best for me. I'm not tempted to check my phone, and if I ever do want to check my notifications, I do so in a very conscious manner. I either access the PC version of that app, where I'm actually required to sit on a table with my laptop, or what I do is that I reinstall that app in my phone for 5 minutes, and when I'm done checking with notifications or posting something, I uninstall it once again. And it's not just social media apps that I had to do this with. I had to do this with YouTube Studio. This is like an app where you can see all the metrics of your videos, the views, the likes, the watch hours. And I would consider myself as a disciplined person, but even I found this urge to constantly check this app every 20 minutes in the day. If you are someone that is currently struggling with discipline and you're in a bit of a dark place, then know this, I have been there too. And sometimes I had that thought that there was no way to escape this. But the truth is, there is always a way. You just have to keep trying to find it, even after failing 1,000 times. So make sure that you watch this video to see my personal journey from this bottomless hell to the top.